Headlines, Saturday, the 17th of January 2009. I'm no hero, says Australia's VC super soldier. Toddler drowning prompts pool fence plea. I'm blessed to be alive, Aussie crash survivor. Violence a turn-off for video gamers. Israel hammers Gaza as Hamas offers truce. Death threat follows call for hijab ban. Bail refused for mastermind of ATM raids. Grim Reaper grandfather jailed for spreading HIV. Severe bushfire risk to return next week. From Tim Blair we have Peace on the March. Screaming Allah Akbar and run you puffs. The peaceful Islamic protesters peacefully chase massively outnumbered British police through London streets while peacefully throwing things. Come on then, shouts one agent of peace. Let's have an effing war. The face of climate change. Lee M. emails, somebody, please tell me this picture, presently at the Drudge Report, was photoshopped. Behold, California Democrat Henry Waxman currently promising quick action on climate change. World's fastest forklift. This baby must be dynamite on the loading docks. A forklift based in Invercargill in the southern tip of New Zealand's Southern Island has been booked for speeding at 119 kilometers an hour on the Kapiti coast at the southern end of the Northern Island. Police had identified the forklift belonging to Lindsay Carrying Company as the offending vehicle, despite it never having left Invercargill and having a top speed of 19 kilometers an hour. One thing about today's headlines is what we see by way of grace. We see, with one headline, to do with Australia's VC super soldier, amazing grace. We have a soldier who denies that he's done anything particularly special. He says he's not a hero. He's just doing what any of his comrades would have done. It's the kind of grace that we see from the US President George Bush, and the kind of grace that we saw from the former Australian Prime Minister John Howard, and the kind of grace that we don't expect to see, that we don't have with people like Obama or Kevin Rudd. It's the kind of grace we don't see for Peace on the March, where we have those people screaming Allah Akbar and run you puffs and running through streets and so on like that. And, well, it isn't the Presbyterians that are doing that. And I think it's really unfair to say it's the Islamists doing that. I think that there are terrorist supporters in our community. And I think that those terrorist supporters have got the endorsement of the leadership of Islamists in this world. And I think that that harms, that lack of grace, harms the relations with which Islamists have with members of other cultures. Making fun of somebody's face shows a lack of grace. And yet, the problem with those that support climate change is that there is very little grace they have. They're putting forward a lie. They are telling things that aren't happening. They are scaring people, and they're doing it for profit. And so when you see the ugly face of people that support climate change, it's natural to want to make fun of it. But it's not very graceful. Everybody makes a mistake. And when the police make a mistake, sometimes it can be tragic, and in this case, it's quite funny. The world's fastest forklift. 119 kilometers an hour being done, clocked by the police, of a forklift, whose maximum speed is 19 kilometers an hour. That's pretty darn funny. Violence is a turn-off for video gamers. News to me. But research? Who can argue with research? Of course, there's also research that shows that climate change isn't happening the way that people say that it is. Wouldn't it be nice if Hamas had actually offered a truce that was reasonable? One of the things that Hamas was demanding was that the wall be taken down that shields Israel from other attacks, not just the rocket attacks. I think it's appalling that a headline can be presented that says that Hamas has offered a truce when they haven't. All they've asked for is yet another avenue of attack.